Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the film Troll 2. Fun fact, this is the largest film production ever in the Nordic countries. This was released in 2025 and stars Ina Marie Wilmann, Kim S. Falck, Mads Sjogard Petterson, and is directed by Roar Uthaug. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Troll 2 sees Nora Tideman pulled back into the world after the government tried to shun her for speaking up about the troll in the last film. When a new troll wakes up with the intent of getting revenge for the killing of its people, she must help them stop him and understand the trolls. Troll 2 is a supernatural film filled with long to be believed extinct creatures. It has similar vibes to The Mummy, Ragnarok, or Troll. Troll was a random watch for me, but I thought it was pretty good, so I was excited for the sequel. A sequel was hinted at the end of the last film, which, made me more excited. The sequel has an interesting premise, but has some flaws that make it less enjoyable than its predecessor. The movie has Norse folklore with trolls, but this film also mixes in a bit of actual history. They talk about the Christianization of Norway by Saint Olaf, who is a real person who made the religion widely accepted in Norway. They use him as a means to explain why the trolls are extinct and why this new troll is trying to get to a certain location, which happens to be where he ruled from. The confusing part is that in the beginning, he seems like a villain because they show how peaceful things were between humans and trolls before he came along. They use his story to find the weakness of the trolls, which saves the humans, but I think they fail to emphasize that all the problems they are currently dealing with are because of him and also don't do much to try and fix the misinformation that has been spread. Even with the troll that's wreaking havoc, it didn't really attack until they attacked it. I get having the troll being a threat, but I feel like the way the information is presented, you understand that it's not all the troll's fault for being mad. Professor Tynan makes her return because even though the government shunned her, her knowledge is clearly valuable. I love how she is an accomplished scientist and uses her science background, but also her stories that her father told her, which we see in a lot of flashbacks to really understand these creatures. She sees how having companies and the government involved isn't helping and wants to try to do what's best. I love having her be the leader in both films who understood the trolls and knew what needed to be done even if she didn't always have the backing of the government. Andres comes back in this movie and they kept talking about him needing to survive because of his family, which let me know he was going to die. I think that it could have been said less because they just kept bringing it up. I think to make it feel like it was going to be like a big emotional moment at the end, but it just made it more obvious and less of a shock when he sacrificed himself. Nora interacts with the Mountain King's son, Beautiful, who ends up being a secret weapon for the group. In the first interaction between Beautiful and Jotun cracks the ice and he falls in, and we assume that Beautiful drowns. This interaction irritated me because we had just met Beautiful maybe 10 minutes prior, and then it is to be presumed that he is dead after this interaction that happened so fast. Later in the movie, he returns, which isn't really a surprise because why would you include him in this story only to kill him so fast? When he comes back, he gets his butt whooped again, which made me truly believe that adding him wasn't very helpful. He was cool, yes, and his backstory was interesting, but he was so underwhelming since he didn't do much to help. Marion is in charge of the facility keeping Jotun, and she did nothing but piss me off. She swore she knew better when she didn't, was always flirting with Chris, and was just in the way. They try to redeem her in the end, but I really wish they would have just left her somewhere. The special effects are an improvement over the first. I'm glad that they were able to make the trolls look even better in this movie. I think my favorite part of the film was the mixing of history and folklore. I found it interesting how they had real historical stuff like the St. Olaf story that you could look up and threw in trolls and how that interaction could have gone. Stuff like that makes me question if it has some truth to it, and I love going down a rabbit hole when I go to look up the actual story about a person or an event that is mixed up in this, retelling in a movie. Troll 2 has an interesting premise, but the story feels like it could have used some more revisions. Even with the issues, the cast was good, and it's an improvement on the special effects from the first. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.